Good morning to you and thanks for joining us on the Breakfast Show. This is Rapid Sports Highlight and I am Ijoma Victor. We head straight to Morocco, still giving us update of the African Cup of Nations and the concluded round of 16 games were concluded yesterday, talking about the round of 16 between massive water, talking about Algeria and Congo. Now let's tell you that second half substitute Adil Boulbina struck deep into extra time to send Algeria into the quarterfinals of the 2025 breaking for Algeria, probably for DR Congo. They had to wait until 118 minutes before that goal eventually emerged. Now let's tell you that Nigeria and Algeria's last met at the AFCON in the semi-finals of the 2019 edition when the Desert Foxes beat the Super Eagles of Nigeria 2-1, courtesy of a dramatic late free kick from Riyad Mahrez. Algeria went on to lift the trophy, claiming their second continental title. Now, since that triumph, the North Africans have failed to progress beyond the group stage in subsequent edition, while Nigeria reached the finals of the last edition in Ivory Coast. That was in 2023. Now, there was a take-home from that game yesterday and every other game involving the Congolese. Yes, talking about the DR Congo human statue. Now, his team was knocked out of the African Cup of Nations in an agonizing fashion on Tuesday. But the DR Congo human statues, Michael Kuka Mbolingo, will be remembered as the tournament's most remarkable supporter. Now, the colorfully dressed Kuka has earned fame as the fan who stands completely immobile throughout his team's games, looking towards the sky with his right arm raised and palm open. Now he has become a media star and on Tuesday was accompanied by delegations of several hundred Congolese supporters whose trip to Morocco was paid for by the country's government. Now they took their place in the stands in Rabat for the last 16 tie against the Desert Foxes of Algeria, which the Leopard lost 1-0 to a goal late in extra time. Now, Kuka's pose is inspired by that of the status of Congolese independent leader and former Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba, which stands in Kinshasa. Lumumba briefly served as the country's first Prime Minister in 1960 and was assassinated the following year by a combination of separatists from the region of Katanga and Belgian mercenaries. His body was dissolved in acid and never found, although it was discovered decades later that remains, including a tooth, had been kept in Belgium. The killing is one of the darkest moments in the history of relations between Belgium and its former colony. Congolese fans at the Cup of Nations who spoke expressed pride at seeing Kuka's tribute to Lumumba. Okay, away from that, we head straight to the second game played yesterday, the last round of 16 between Côte d'Ivoire, the defending champions, and Burkina Faso. Talking about the Elephants of Côte d'Ivoire and the Stallions of Burkina Faso. Now, defending champions Côte d'Ivoire have completed the African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 quarter-final lineup after a dominant 3-0 victory over the Stallions of Burkina Faso on Tuesday night in Marrakesh. Goals from Ahmad Diallo in the 20th minute, Yann Diomande in the 32nd minute, and the late strike from Bamba Traoré in the 87th minute powered the Elephants past the Stallion as the Ivorians delivered a composed and clinical performance to underline their title credentials. Now, Diallo stirred once again for Côte d'Ivoire's opening scoring before providing the assist for Diomande's second as the champions took firm control before halftime. Now, Burkina Faso pushed harder after the break but was unable to break down a disciplined Ivorian defense, with any hopes of a comeback ended by Traoré's late finish. Let's take a highlight: Côte d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso. Well, that to me, that was a gift to the Elephants of Côte d'Ivoire. Now, Côte d'Ivoire will now face Egypt in a highly anticipated quarterfinal clash on Saturday in Agadir, as they continue their bid for a back-to-back African title. Now let's look at the round of 16 fixtures, or sorry, the round of 8 rather, quarterfinals already confirmed. Now the quarterfinal lineup for the African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 is now clearer, following Algeria and Côte d'Ivoire's qualification after their round of 16 victories on Tuesday. Now let's tell you that Senegal, Mali, Morocco, Cameroon, Egypt, Nigeria, Algeria, Côte d'Ivoire are the final team in 8. Now the confirmed team, let's tell you that Mali will take on Senegal on Friday, January 9. Venue will be at the Grand Stade in Tangier. The time is 5 p.m. The second game will be Cameroon up against Morocco, also Friday, January 9th at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium in Rabat, 8 p.m. And the following day, which is Saturday, on the 10th, Nigeria will take on Algeria, and venue will be at the Stade Marrakesh. Yes, Nigeria will now move from Fez, their adopted home ground, away to Marrakesh. And the last quarterfinal game will be Egypt and Côte d'Ivoire, Saturday, January 10th at the Stade Agadir, also 8 p.m. Now the quarterfinals will be played on Friday 9th and Saturday 10th of January. Now we head straight to the camp of the Super Eagles, where a top official of the Nigerian Football Federation has dismissed the rumor making the rounds that Super Eagles forward and Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen is leaving the 2025 African Cup of Nations camp in Morocco. Now, this was disclosed by a FIFA and CAF accredited journalist, Dekpoju Samuel, who spoke with officials about the outburst between Osimhen and Ademola Lookman during the round of 16 game against the Mambas of Mozambique, which ended 4-0 in favor of the Super Eagles. Now, Samuel wrote on his X handle on Tuesday, a top team official just confirmed the latest situation over yesterday's incident. Now, the official said everything has been sorted since the last night and we are all good. There was no discussion about Osimhen leaving the tournament. The issue has been resolved as a family. Recall that Nigerian football fans criticized Osimhen for his angry outburst at Lookman during the game. Now, Galatasaray striker was captured on camera yelling at Lookman in the 63rd minute after Atalanta man missed a chance when Osimhen was open. Now, Lookman had already created 2 chances for Osimhen at that point, with one being a direct assist and the other coming through Akko Adams. Osimhen asked to be subbed off subsequently and was then booed off the pitch by the fans as Moses Simon came on for the striker. Now, the incident sparked widespread criticism on the social media platform X, with fans questioning Osimhen's attitude despite the team's dominant performance. However, reacting on Tuesday, Lookman shared pictures of himself alongside Victor Osimhen and Bruno Nyemechi on the pitch following Nigeria's win at the African Cup of Nations round of 16, which was played on Monday. Now, the footballer shared the post on his official Instagram page on Tuesday with the caption, "Together always." Also, both the Eagles coach Eric Chell and the captain Wilfred Ndidi have dismissed the rumor. Misunderstanding between the duo talisman, while urging Nigeria to keep backing the team as they focus on their next outing against Algeria. So let's see how we pound out in that particular way. So good one, no more rifts in camp. Now back home, we look at the Nigerian Premier Football League will resume today, the second stanza of the league, as referees and other match officials in the Nigerian Premier Football League have not been paid their indemnities for officiating in the top flight for about 11 match days, leading to growing the discontent ahead of the second standard of the 2025-2026 season. Now, the MPFL is currently on mid-season and action will resume today. Yes, action will resume today in the MPFL. Now, according to report, payments to match referees, match assessors, and match commissioners have stalled since match day 8. Some of the affected officials who pleaded anonymity disclosed that their basic allowances per match range from 60,000 to 90,000, aside from hotel and transport allowances. In 2023, the MPFL and strategic partner GTI Asset Management approved a 30% increase in indemnities payable to match commissioners and referees in the league. Well, I wouldn't know why it's like this. I wonder how they spent the Christmas and the New Year, and they have not been paid since March number 8. And the league will resume today, 7th of January. We'll keep tab with what's happening with the MPFL as actions will resume later this evening. The MPFL. Also, other actions will go down, including the Spanish Super Cup. And this is where we blow the final whistle on the show this morning. As a rapid sport highlights, we'll return precisely about 5 p.m. later this evening as we analyze all the round of 16 games from the African Cup of Nations. Meanwhile, the breakfast show continues with Mata Mata and Victor Ake. I am Ijoma Victor signing out.